Hello everyone, so welcome to our lecture 2 of Education 244. And today we were talking about the online learning and the COVID-19 pandemic. Because this is like the most, I think it's like a far more important topic in the first week of the course. So as March 9th or the week of March 9th, many schools and organizations suspended in-person services until like further notice. So everybody are just back home because the virus just starting infections. And the students start finishing their work remotely, and the professors are changing their course online that no courses are in person after that date. It's hard deadline. And what does this mean for us, especially for a college student? What does this like this abrupt change means? And this is a long-lasting battles, because like there's been so many controversies like in a short amount of time. And first of all, parents just feel like very confused, like how they're going to take care of their children, like how they're going to do their work and the job just to raise the money. Because if they don't work, they will lose the income. That if there's no income, how and that they can pay like the rent or like anything or raise a family. For student, they maybe was like where I can stay beside their on campus, because like some colleges and universities, they're just their mandatory evacuation for all students, just regardless of whether you're international student or you're domestic, that you have to leave the dorm because it's a virus and they're gonna empty the campus and be too short of notice. Some people just think, why is like the day before I'm in a library just sit here like to reading to my finals. Well, the day after, like 12 hours later, you're asked to leave the dorm in like a 24 hour. That is unbelievable. Some people think they're not ready yet. If you're like a junior, senior, or master student, and you might think how I'm gonna do my lab research, like a project, like dissertation, I'm just gonna take a pause. And if I'm an international student and you might just gonna leave home or just that whether you're gonna stay in the US is like another question. And then it's like if you're in like a midterm or like the end of a quarter, as you did, like how you can do the final exam and like how the course grade is gonna be calculated. So there are a lot more the questions. And the teachers may think like, should I cancel the final exam? Or should I cancel the midterm? Or should I cancel any high-stake exams? Or should I just remain unchanged for the course instruction mode? Or should I still just mandate in-class participation or attendance despite it is online? So this is a battle. As many more problems arise, and people still just trying to find a way to end this quarter or this semester with good ending. So this is a very long-lasting, complicated topic that the most hardest problem that we ever faced since 2020. So what the teachers should do, sometimes just cancel like the class in-person lectures until like the next quarter. Some professors just don't want to work because that makes a low attendance rate, or like they cancel the final exam for like a math department in winter quarter 2020. They cancel the final exam, and computer science 142, 143 they also have their final exam canceled because it's hard to write a new exam that is can be administered online and just to wait for other grade to work. Some teachers, they just feel like I don't want to just pause the teaching that everything is online, but no change is made. Some teacher maybe think, okay, because you're online, maybe your lack of motivation or like you're like, and you're outside the United States, so there's no attention requirements. Like you can just do the work at your own pace, and just end of the quarter or the midterm, you just go easy. Some professor is like, I need some student just to protest to take the final exam. So just to write new exam, just to make them like a take-home format exam, so people just they can do it at their second and final exam time. And because they just is agonizing the case of the final exam, even especially it's by the end of the quarter. And then like some students just they are hoping to raise their grade by the full letter grade or even 20% higher for the final exam. And if you just cancel it, and they're just gonna rant like you're gonna give a low score on the course evaluation, and they say you are a bad professor because you didn't let me to take the final, that I failed this class. This happened before, but if more than 50% of the class that's want to take the final exam, just don't cancel it. And you may just like give an extra some optional work that if you do this exam, it would not hurt your final grade. It only goes up, not goes down. And of course, we as a college student, we react in very different way. So say number one, say I feel like the university is under prepared and just to rush through everything as fast as I can. They just try to make last minute decisions, and they just want to get out of here as fast as possible. Another student may think, why is my professor still mandating in-person class participation when students are all over the place? That's just unreasonable, man. This is not possible. And is and it's just rude. Well, maybe and the third one say, well, I do like online class because I don't want to go to campus to get a virus because I don't feel safe, right? And number four, just say, well, there's no final exam, there's no assignment left. How am I going to get an A? Or how am I going to pass this class? It is too questionable, right? Number five is to be like a senior just ranting about like, where is my in-person graduation? Then my parents are planning to come here that they just canceled. Jeez, man, this is terrible. However, there's some benefit just beside all the ranting here. It's a mitigation in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Like, if we still hold everything online, then we will have an outbreak. Then we will be the focus of this say, because if we hosting a 700 people lecture in King Hall and just ignoring the COVID, that the UW will be very popular for COVID infection. And wonderful opportunities for educators to rethink about our online education. There are a lot of things to be fixed, a lot of things need to be changed. And probably maybe just more in like easier ending of the quarter or the midterm season or the end or the remaining of the academic year. Well, there are definitely lots of bad things about COVID and just this interruptions. Like things change too abrupt that there's like, yeah, how am I gonna change everything just in like a 5 days time span? That is a challenge for me. Need to adjust to everything. Or if you're international student, you might have different time zones that across all over the place. It, that if you're in China, well, here's like noon, you're like a 4 a.m., like a 2:30 a.m. Most of the things lack of a motivation. That most of them just feel like I don't want to learn anything at all. Even I'm inside of a dorm or like cafe, but they're not open right now. And some people it's like once they left the school, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no laptop. Then how I'm gonna take the quiz, and how I'm gonna watch a lecture, how I'm gonna learn everything. Well, some downside just some professor just like, okay, I'm gonna rush everything because I think I can teach whatever I want and just make poor decisions and just ruin the learning experiences. This is another thing that the professor they can make some bad decisions. Now maybe educate here's a time to do some kind of just like reflection, just like before implementing any new policies. Do you think this situation is every or most of the student in the class is like if the class have 20 people, I recommend you implement a policy if 18 out of 20 or higher that they can abide this policy or 90% or higher. Should you use the label classroom method to make the attendance optional? This is another thing. For different kind of a class, if you're like English literature, this may be not a good way to because like and it's just a lot of different things and just to think because it's too short of notice. If schools operating a quarter system, how you handle the final exam and all like final grade issues. Lastly, what policy to ensure students' mental health and well-being during the unusual time of the year? They're all things to rethink about online education, like a time zone, the lack of a Wi-Fi, a technology, the motivation, like the concern for final grade, and the final exam, the academic integrity, and lots of things that's really just to think because they're just hard. But the good thing is now, as after 2 years of online school, we will come up with like a better way to teach online classes or in-person classes. And this is a good thing that I love to see it. Thank you so much for watching. This is conclusion of our lecture 2. Make sure to do video quiz number 2. And don't forget, you have a syllabus quiz due this Friday night, and it works same as other video quizzes, but it doesn't count toward your final grade because it just for me to know that you actually care about the course. Thank you so much and have a great day.